Well, socially responsible sourcing is taking into account how what we buy and spend money on impacts both the environment and the communities that we buy from, and taking that impact into account when we select suppliers and goods to buy so that we minimize the negative impact and maximize the positive impact in both areas. It's a new area for Burt's, and it's a new area for me as well. I come from a very conventional sourcing background, cost, quality, and service. New area for Burt's Bees to be so formal about how we look at socially responsible sourcing. Also a bit of a challenge. We have a fairly limited resource base, both in people and money to be able to put towards this, especially in comparison to many of the larger companies out there that are trying to do the same thing we are. We really want to take a look at where our things come from, how they're grown, how they're harvested, how they're brought to us, and then how we later take them to the consumer. Right now, we're looking at our first level suppliers. In the long term, we would aspire to looking at our second and third level suppliers, meaning those suppliers that supply our direct materials. So within Burt's Bees, we have about 150 direct material suppliers, those suppliers who supply us materials that we actually use in the product. And then we have about 300 indirect material suppliers who supply goods and services that we need to run the factory, but we don't actually use them in the product. Of those, 30 of them are the ones that we consider significant. They represent 80% of our total spend. We do make a conscious effort to source as locally as possible. So of those 30, 28 of them are within the United States, and 8 of those 28 are within North Carolina.
These are some of the ingredients that we use in our products. Right here we have rosemary, as well as lady's mantle leaf and comfrey root. These we mix with oils, heat up, and run for a certain amount of time. That way we get the extracts from these raw materials. Shea butter, which is used as an emollient in our lotions, as well as peppermint oil and pomegranate oil that are used as fragrances. And here we have honey that is also used as an emollient in our lotions.
We are engaged in a very robust effort to design quality into our products from end to end. How we get our materials, what we use in, what we don't use in our products, in an effort to make sure that the product delights the consumer in every possible way. To start with, we have an actual purchasing position, a manager level person who is primary responsibility is to coordinate all of the socially responsible sourcing activities within the supply chain. Some of the specific things that we're working on, the first one is a code of conduct, which has been issued to all of our suppliers at this point. We require our suppliers to sign it and return it to us. The second thing we did was we've established a supplier sustainability scorecard. It's based on our greater good model. It has 100 points. We assess our suppliers in the area of sustainability, social responsibility, and wellness, kind of heavily weighted towards sustainability. We send out the questionnaires to our suppliers, they respond, we score them, and then we assess them in our overall supply base, and we give preference to suppliers who score better or who show some significant interest in improving or improvement over time. Those are the suppliers we really want to establish deeper, longer partnerships with. We had expected to have a fairly low response rate because of the complexity and the time it took, but we had a much higher response rate than we thought we would, and then we had a lot of interest. We had a lot of phone calls from our suppliers asking how they could improve and what they could do better, and asking for our advice and help, which was a huge win for us. Additionally, we do pay quite a bit of attention to the spend that we have with minority women and disabled veteran suppliers, something that we're tracking very carefully in coordination with Clorox. They have some dedicated resources to this we're taking advantage of. Fairly new to us, we have some aggressive targets, which we exceeded in 2010, and we're looking to exceed in 2011, and some fairly significant targets out to 2013. Third-party certifications are a tool that we're actively pursuing to really understand the impact of our products on the world. We're actively engaged in partnership with the Forest Stewardship Council, And in 2011, we're pursuing some additional partnerships to step up our transparency efforts. All of these tools help us elevate the level of transparency across our entire supply chain. The big opportunity for the future for Burt's Bees is to continue to what we're doing, yet apply some additional resources to our traceability efforts for our second and third level suppliers to really get a full assessment of the impact of the products that we make and buy on the world.